Kaz, you know what? Our next guest is your partner. You guys had the WWE symmetry going. So please, take it away.
It's my guy, man. You know, he's OG MSG AM crew. I know he's all the way in Milwaukee, but we love having him here in New York City. The sniper, my man Steve Novak. What's going on, partner? Welcome back.
Hey, Novi.
It's always my pleasure to be with you guys. And yes, you and me, Kaz, we have the discount double check, the championship belt, the WWE. Okay, I'm not much of a wrestler, but I did wear a championship belt for a period of time. So we do share that.
As we should, Novak. But I want to get right into it, man. What a win tonight with the New York Knicks, down 17 points with 5 minutes left in the third quarter, coming back all the way to win behind Alec Burks, RJ Barrett, and Emmanuel Quickly. Novi, got to get your thoughts on this big comeback win. Best win of the year, in my opinion.
Well, this is the beauty of basketball, right? You can watch the first three quarters, and it's pretty miserable. Neither team is doing much right. But you know what? When you're the New York Knicks and you're playing some defense and you got a guy off the bench named Alec Burks that can come in and get hot and get buckets, even when your guy, Julius Randle, isn't having his best game, it really is fun to watch. He has 27 points off the bench. He had the ball in his hands. He always plays with great tempo and pace. He can find a guy. He can finish in the paint. He can shoot the three every now and then, but that mid-range game is tough too. Alec Burks really was the guy, though. 27 points off the bench. Whenever you have a guy coming off the bench and having a game like this, it's fun to watch. And especially when Julius Randle wasn't playing his best, Alec Burks, he absolutely held it down until the end when Julius Randle could come in and knock down a couple little fadeaways on the baseline, very Carmelo-esque like, and it was good to see it. But to be honest, the first three quarters were pretty miserable, but for them to come back and get that win after being down 17 was fun to watch.
Carmelo Anthony-esque. I love it. I seriously debated whether I could recreate the fadeaways on set tonight without getting hung up in my cords, because, you know, those fadeaways were mean. But, Novi, as much as we loved those offensive shots, I know in the second half, it was the defense that caught your eyes. I mean, ultimately, when you look at the defensive rebounding stats, the Knicks out-rebounded the Wizards by 9 on the glass.
They did, and honestly, this is a Coach Thibodeau team. And if you can play defense and you can control the controllables, which is defense every single night, you're going to give yourself a chance. So on a night like tonight when, look, the Knicks are in 5th place in the East. They're fighting to hold that spot. There's not a big span between 4th and 10th in the East right now. So it does matter beating the Washington Wizards. Is there a miserable game going on? Yeah, fine. But you got to find a way to pull it out. And with their defense, that's exactly what they did. They kept themselves in it, just down by 11 after 3 quarters. All of a sudden they get hot. They start to make some shots. This is what Coach Thibodeau wants. And he knows he has guys that can make shots and make offensive plays. But Coach Tib teams are going to be great if they play defense. He's going to give them a chance every time. And I think we saw it tonight. That's why there is such a difference in this year's team from the teams the last few years, is they are guarding their butts off right now, the 3rd-ranked team defensively in the NBA. And I think that's why they got the win tonight.
As if there's anything Knicks fans love, they love them a good defensive team. So you took the words right out of my mouth. The Knicks are also in 5th place in the Eastern Conference. They're above 500, and they have a big game against your Milwaukee Bucks this Saturday. Novi, give me the scouting report. You see these guys every game. What should we look out for? What should you look out for? And what should we expect Saturday night?
I'm calling the game against New York. Yeah, I'm in Milwaukee, but let's be honest, I got love for both teams. But if I'm just giving the scouting report right now, there is no doubt the Bucks are hot. They've won 13 out of 14 games. They have not lost since All-Star break. They've won 8 straight. Giannis has pretty much been a triple-double machine. He has been unstoppable. He's making like 90% of his free throws since All-Star break, and so there just really seems to be a renewed energy from this Bucks team, specifically defensively for them. And I think because they're so high-powered offensively with Giannis in the post, Chris Middleton on the perimeter, guys knocking down shots and stepping up every night, being a defensive team really like the Knicks hang their hat on is making them really tough. So in order for the Knicks to get a win, I think they got to do what they did to the Bucks when they matched up in December when they won 130 to 110. They got to frustrate Giannis. They got to get into Chris Middleton. They got to be the defensive team that they were tonight in that fourth quarter, and I think they can give themselves a chance.
No, no big deal. Just light work. Just frustrate.
Just stop the MVP. A team of 13 to 14. It's nothing. It's easy. That's easy work. We can do that. That's nothing.
It's nothing. It's nothing. Let's move on. Today, we were all watching the clock until it struck 3 p.m. when the trade deadline was finalized. And it seems that Orlando is a team that's entering their rebuild. One of their notables, they got rid of a handful of guys, but the Bulls, they acquire Vucevic, who's having a tremendous year, career best right now in scoring, third career high in terms of rebounding, 3-point shooting percentage. Who won? Let's start there, Novi, but we got to get who won in terms of the deadline.
Yeah, it was some interesting movement. And CJ McCollum tweeted some interesting stuff out saying, look, I'm going to take a nap when I wake up. There better not be anything crazy. And I have been that guy on both ends where I've laid down, taken a nap. All of a sudden you wake up and all these trades are happening, but you always kind of know it's coming. A lot of guys can sense it, but you just touched on it a little bit right there, Monica. Vucevic, he for sure was, in my opinion, the most talented player, I think, the most impactful guy. And Oladipo was traded as well. I shouldn't say that Vucevic is necessarily the most talented, but right now he is having a heck of a season. He's headed to Chicago. He really is an unstoppable player. When he gets the ball in the mid-post, he goes to work. It looks like, we got him matched up. We did our work early on him. We're going to get a stop. And he just takes his time. He's bigger than you, and he can shoot the mid-range. He can shoot the three-ball. And he really is a go-to big fella in this league. And I think right now we've seen the NBA go to small ball, but I think the future of the NBA really is guys like Vucevic, who are really ahead of the curve as far as being a big fella hybrid. They are the big fellas that play small ball. They can put the ball on the floor. They can shoot the three. They can do so many things, kind of like a Jokic. And so there's no question Chicago, I think, was a big winner in this one.
I like that thought process. The big man coming back. Let's hope so.
The new big man, though.
The
Kev.
new big man, the fancier big man, the modern big man. We're talking about fire sales, the Houston Rockets had one of their own where they let go of Victor Oladipo to the Miami Heat for a couple of picks, really. And the Miami Heat are in that range of teams with the Knicks, the Celtics, and other teams that are trying to make that push for the playoffs. What do you think of this Oladipo move to Miami and what that does for the reigning Eastern Conference champions?
Yeah, Miami is dangerous. I mean, I think they were, honestly, before they traded for Oladipo, they were dangerous. When you have Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, you have a guy like Duncan Robinson spreading the floor, knocking down shots, and they kind of showed who they were last year in the playoffs. I mean, they made a run that I don't think anybody expected, and now you add Oladipo, and I think Oladipo is a guy when he's motivated and when he's healthy, and there's no question most guys will be motivated when you get to a team like the Miami Heat who's playing well. And by the way, you can hang out on South Beach. You have a lot of reasons to try to play well there, to succeed and stay there for a very long time. But they're a good basketball team too. They've shown it. And I think to add him, to your point, they become a very different threat. They are different with Oladipo out there handling the ball, and they didn't have to give up too much. And so specifically because of that, when you get a guy like Oladipo and you didn't give up too much, you certainly won. And Pat Riley has a history of doing that.
I do believe in Heat culture, so we will see what happens. Now, Novi, personally, I think the team that made the most impactful move immediately was the Los Angeles Clippers, getting Rajon Rondo and sending Lou Williams back to Atlanta.
Lemon pepper Lou.
I knew you were going to do that. He can have all the wings that he wants. But Rajon Rondo is the A1 guard that Kawhi is accustomed to sort of playing with when he's been most successful. So personally, this is the one that I like. What do you think?
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I mean, you're talking Rondo, that's a big-time move. And Lou Williams, look, this is a bucket getter. And although, look, maybe we don't want to send him back to the ATL. He's been known to get in a little bit of trouble. I feel like you guys were going there with that. We'll leave it alone. We'll just talk about his hoop game. He's special. He gets more four-point plays than anybody in the history of the NBA, and he can get a bucket if he's sitting on the bench for 10 minutes. But Rondo, like you talked about, I think, he really is a special guard, especially in the postseason. He is considered in basketball circles a basketball savant, somebody that can come in, run that point guard spot, be a coach on the floor. He's an interesting guy because it's a lot of times you look and teams won't give him big, long contracts, and then all of a sudden you'll see him sign for a little while, play really good, his value goes up, and the team isn't sure if they're going to have his interest enough, if he's going to want to be there. He's always a wild card, but in the playoffs, he is a basketball savant. He gets it done. He is a championship caliber point guard. That's absolutely why this move was made for the postseason. So to add him to the Clippers is a big-time deal.
Novi, we love you every time
Rondo.
you're here on MSG, but this Saturday, we got beef, all right? So we'll see you when the Knicks take on the Bucks over in Milwaukee. Thank you for coming through as always. Appreciate you. And we'll catch you next time, partner.
Sounds good. We'll see you guys soon.